Hi, it's me, Teacher Mike from Phuket Pals. Welcome back to another GED Social Studies video. In this one, we're going to be focusing on what the President's Cabinet is. Now, as you know, the federal government in the US has three different branches or sections. Section 1 is the legislative, Section 2 is the judiciary, and Section 3 is the executive. Now, as part of that executive is something called the Cabinet. So let's find out today what the Cabinet is, what they do, and various other things as well. So within the three branches of government are many people who play important roles in running the country. The Cabinet is a group whose role is to advise the President on subjects related to each member's office. This group includes not only the Vice President of the United States, but also the heads of executive departments, including the Attorney General, the Secretaries of Agriculture, Commerce, Defence, Education, Energy, Health, Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing, Urban Development, Interior, Labour, State, Transportation, Treasury, and Veterans Affairs. Okay, so pretty much all of these important areas of government are covered by a member of the Cabinet. So for example, if we take something like agriculture, this means that agricultural issues at a federal level, at a countrywide level, will be dealt with by an individual who will be the Cabinet member, and he will then advise the President on decisions that need to be made about agriculture. Because think about it, the President doesn't know everything. Okay, he's not the eternal fountain of knowledge. He's not the oracle at Delphi. You just don't ask him questions and he gets you answers. He needs to find out from experts and be advised by experts, and that's what these Cabinet members do. Okay, so he will consult them about certain issues and decisions he has to make, and they will give him their expertise. Then he'll make his decision based on that. Okay, now. Okay, so each Cabinet member takes the title Secretary of his or her department, okay, with the exception of the head of the Justice Department, who is known as the Attorney General. Okay, so following the Vice President and the Speaker of the House and the Senate President, the Cabinet Ministers are included in the line of succession to the Presidency in order of which their departments were created. So these are very important people. The heads of these departments or the secretaries of these departments are incredibly powerful and influential people. Okay, so let's look at some of these functions at a closer level. So the Department of Agriculture is responsible for the safety of food and regulating farming. The Department of Commerce is responsible for improving the living standards of citizens of the country through economic development and regulating trade, banking, and the economy. Okay, the Department of Defense is the largest government agency and includes the armed forces of the United States, so the Army, or the military, as the Americans call it. This department, which is headquartered at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., helps protect the security of the country. Then we have the Department of Education, so that's all about promoting student achievement and making sure that all students have equal access to education. Also, this department administers financial aid for students and gathers data on schools in order to guide and improve education in the United States. Then we have the Department of Energy. Okay, this is all about power supply. Okay, and also promoting new technologies to conserve energy resources. Department of Health and Human Services. So this is including the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. And yeah, this is all about the health, ensuring the health and promoting the health of US citizens. Okay. Also the Department of Homeland Security. This was formed after the 9/11 attacks in 2001. And this is about security within the United States. Okay, it's about patrolling the borders of the United States and various other things as well. So it includes things like the US Secret Service, the US Coast Guard, and the Transportation Security Administration. Okay. Also, we have the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Okay, this promotes affordable housing ownership in the US, trying to prevent discrimination against those trying to buy a home. Okay. Also, the Department of the Interior works to protect and conserve natural resources. Okay, so the Department of the Interior tries to preserve things like wildlife, national parks. It manages about 20% of the land in the US and protects endangered species. Okay, next is the Department of Justice. Okay, it's the largest law office in the world, and it's about protecting the interests of US citizens. Okay, so things like public safety, controlling crime, seeking justice for individuals, and various other things. Department of Labor. Okay, this enforces labor laws in the United States and protects the safety and rights of workers. Okay, it also deals with things like job training, minimum wage levels, unemployment insurance, and discrimination in hiring. Okay. The Department of State is responsible for the diplomatic relations with other countries. So they work with other countries and ensure a kind of harmonious relationship with the diplomatic relations between them. Also, the Secretary of State, who leads this department, is the President's top advisor on foreign policy. So it's a very important department. Department of Transportation is making sure the nation's transportation network is working effectively and all the highways are doing okay. Also, the Department of the Treasury, collecting taxes, okay, managing federal finances, producing coins and currency. This is all about money, okay, and that's the Treasury. Also, the Department of Veteran Affairs, offering medical care for veterans or people, soldiers, retired soldiers who are wounded or ill, and they're helping out their families as well. Okay, so they're the main parts of the cabinet. And what you basically need to know for the GED test is what the cabinet is, and how it functions, their advisory role with the president, and just the names of some of these departments and what they do. So this video should help you out. Okay, I'll see you for the next one. Thanks. All the best. Bye-bye.